to or welcome, maybe not welcome back, maybe welcome, maybe this is your first time on our channel. Welcome to the Makers Gonna Learn channel. Especially if you are from Etsy Effect, we are going to be designing today, utilizing a little bit of AI, teaching you how you can position that to use it within your Etsy shop. But to start off, I have to give a shout out to Miss Wendy Impey. I don't know if Wendy is here, but I wore my jacket today.
It's beautiful.
One of our, I was trying to make sure my mic wasn't covering it. One of our amazing passive earners people, she actually made me this coat of many colors.
It's so crazy.
Based on something I said 3 years ago. So I wanted to show it off to you all, let you guys see it. I have had the opportunity to wash it a couple times. I still need to wash it some more. But I wanted to give a shout out to Wendy and show her that I am wearing my jacket today for her.
Beautiful.
So love however you do your hearts this way. How do you do your hearts? Do you do your hearts this way?
Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
Or this way? I actually kind of think I like this way.
My fingers don't look like that when I do that.
This is what the kids are doing these days. This is how the kids are doing the hearts. Anyway, had to show that off. I am, however, going to take it off because I will get roasty, toasty, and these pits will start sweating if I wear a jacket while we are live. So, welcome in today. So glad to have you all. Yes, the replay will be available if you have to leave or you are not able to be here the whole time. But today we are going to be focusing on how you can position and leverage AI in a couple different ways to help you streamline the process of listing in your shop. No matter if you have a physical product, a digital product, or a print-on-demand product, you can leverage AI as much or as little as you prefer to help you in areas where you may be lacking. So some people may be lacking in the copywriting section, and that is where you create your descriptions, all of that stuff. AI can help you by helping you create your descriptions, helping you create like a generalized shop policies that you put in your description. That can be one area that it helps you with. Another area is helping you find SEO rich or search engine optimization rich tags, titles, and words to use within your listing to help drive traffic to your page, okay? And then finally, the last way that you can position and utilize AI is to help you create specific images or smaller pieces to go into your larger design. So we are going to be showing you how we do that today from the research, starting with research and kind of figuring out where we want to go through the actual design process and how you can use it. So you kind of get, this is kind of like a exclusive backstage pass to kind of see how we do this. So let's go ahead and we will jump over to our share screen and get started. Now we are going to be starting in Etsy today. This is 9 times out of 10 where I always start, especially if I am trying to figure out what I am creating. Obviously you all can see we've been searching. If you are coming to intensives, in-person intensives, here's a little sneak peek on some decor we might be using.
That's so fun.
Anyway, today we are going to be focusing on invitations. I feel like we did some POD, print-on-demand stuff a few times. We've done, but I really wanted to focus on like invitations and how you can utilize this for possible digital products, invitations, things like that. So,
love it.
We're gonna do a birthday invitation today. So where I am going to start, does not matter where I'm at. I'm gonna start here and I'm just going to type in birthday invitation. Now, this is just going to give me an overview of what I see on the first page of Etsy. This to me, if I just type in birthday invitation, I know that my invitation has to be able to look and feel like it fits and or belongs here. Now, that is a generic term. Within Passive Earner Society, we teach you to look at the overall, like, overarching picture and seeing what comes up here to get an idea, but then we like to niche our products down after that. So we can go into there and kind of show you how I do this. So this is a lot of girl themes I'm really liking, but none of these are like sticking out to me of what I may want to create. The cherry one is cute. I just kind of like to get an idea. This is where I'm going to scroll and just kind of look. After I have, sometimes I like to go to the second page to see what is on the second page. I know that I want to do a child's birthday party today. So as I'm looking through here, I'm also kind of looking at, like, I really like these mastered his first year, like a master's theme. Once again, that is going to be kind of iffy on how you can use that image because the master's image is a copywritten image. So if you use the green and the yellow and the red without that master's logo, I think that one would be cute. And you can kind of like, there's ways you can play a themed birthday party, and especially with children, it's hard to not have a themed birthday party because they like those characters, right? So anyway, going through here, I'm just kind of, once again, we're getting an idea of what's happening. I do see for boys, we're seeing black and like neons are big, looks like. Girls, it's still very like coquette, soft color palettes, things like that. Now, after I have started there, what I like to do is I like to go over to Marketplace Insights. Now, if you do not have Etsy Plus, just know you have 15 credits a week to search, which is, I think, plenty enough per week, and let me tell you why. And where you're going to find this is in the back end in your shop manager. Over here on the side, if you drop down this stats menu, you're going to find Marketplace Insights. Here is what it looks like. Here you can see that you'd have 15 per week, or you have to upgrade with Etsy Plus. If you are making, let's say, 5 products a week, which is a good amount if you are creating like digital products, things like that, that's not a bad amount. I think 15 searches is plenty per week for you to get an idea of what is trending to give you direction. So after I have kind of looked on Etsy and tried to see if I can spot a theme or spot a recurring, what is happening, what do I see a lot of? Right here, I see a lot of, there's gingham 1, gingham 2, gingham 3 in 2 lines. So if you were creating, let's say, it's fun to be 1 and you want a very specific gingham pattern, that's something that you can easily recreate as an AI image generation if you can't find the exact color scheme that you want. So that is one route that you could go. But after I've kind of tried to spot what is being pushed on the first 2 pages, coming over here to Marketplace Insights, I'm then going to type in birthday invitations. Invitation. And see what is on the first, what's been trending for the last 30 days here, and look at the searches versus search results. So this is how after I get an idea of what I am creating, then I come over here and look at how many searches has it gotten within the last 30 days. So right here is where you're probably going to run into some issues. In this specific category, this is not going to be in all categories, mind you, okay? So right here, it says K-pop Demon Hunter birthday invitation. We all know that K-pop, or maybe you don't. If you don't, let me enlighten you. K-pop Demon Hunters is a children's movie that has come out within the last year that the kiddos are loving. So this is one although the search to search results ratio is huge. This is insane. The fact that there are 16.6K, 16,000, almost 17,000 searches in the last 30 days and not even 7,000 listings is crazy, but that tells you right there that there's not a lot of people that are making this, this is a copywritten image or like a licensed image. There's not a lot of people making those types of invitations. Now, if you can come up with an iteration, like a way to incorporate like those colors, different pieces, then you can have something that is K-pop themed, and go from there. But you do want to look for like this, kind of like this magic ratio of search to search results. Like I said, these are going to be, this one, Moana, you have almost 14,000 searches and not even 2,000 listings. Once again, it's because that is a Disney image. So we do want to try to stay away from those if we can. And it looks like all of these that have the high searches and barely any search results are going to be our copywritten images. So how can we then incorporate, let's say, I don't know, we're going to test this out, okay? If this doesn't work, then would it be a copyright issue to use that title? Daniel. Yes, you do not want to use Moana in the birthday invitation. However, if you wanted to use, like, how would you say that?
Maybe like, is she a princess?
Yes,
Island,
Moana
like
is
island
the
princess.
Where you
yeah.
are.
Island princess.
Yeah, you could do like island princess birthday party. There's not a so you can't copyright island princess, right?
Yeah.
But you could do island princess birthday party for your title and not really get into any copyright issues. So I have an idea. I have a thought on how we can do this, like a Moana themed birthday invitation without copywriting this. So let's see if it works. If it doesn't, I do kind of have something in my back pocket that I think will work as well. And that is a Nerf birthday party. I want to look at the searches for that one. So let's just type in Nerf. Because it is also a copy, like obviously Nerf, Hasbro has copywritten that, but it is a huge, but see, here is the issue with Nerf. Or let's just say, do you see the low results of searches versus the high search results? That's somewhat of, we want to try to have, I like to call it a golden, there's not really the golden ratio, but you want to have a good amount of searches per search results. I would say somewhere between a 1 to 8 ratio, 1 to 5 to 1 to 8 ratio would be good for that, meaning 86 searches to, let's see, 3,000 listings is going to give you a very, very small ratio. So let me just do the math real quick and I'll tell you kind of what that ratio is. So it would be this, nope. Let me try this one more time. Give me just a second. So that would be around a 1 to 34, like a 1 to 34 ratio. So for every one search, there's 34 to 40 listings. Anyway, that's not great. So let's go ahead. We're going to show you after we've done our research, marketplace insights, all that good stuff. I'm going to hop over here. Now today we are going to be using Nano Banana. Okay. Yes, the searches is buyers searching those terms, and the search results is a listing on Etsy with those terms. Correct. Yes. So let me go back and show you. This is, once again, you can see here the last 30 days of data. You can see how many searches per day for that specific. Now that is going to be what we call a micro niche. So that is like a very specific. So when you get an idea, you can micro niche it down and kind of get more, a better idea. But you can see we are tops. It was 30 searches a day for Nerf birthday invitation. Okay, so we're going to go with the Moana. Remember, that was a pretty good ratio. There was more searches than there was search results. And we're going to see if we can create a, we're going to see if we can create an image. I have an idea of what I want. And then we're going to go from there. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, we're using Nano Banana. I'm going to go to create image. Now another thing that I do like to do to just help me streamline the process, and I don't normally use Google Gemini for this. I'm going to go over here to chat. And I like to sometimes, because crafting the prompt is actually the crafting process. If you are using AI, you have to craft your prompt. Your prompt is what is going to be, you have to get your prompt down to a T. So I'm just going to tell chat, I want to create a birthday invitation that is island princess themed. Think Moana, but no licensed imagery. I would like to include, I cannot think of, a pig and a chicken.
I was about to say it. The only thing I could think of was a pig.
A pig and a chicken. And an island theme. Maybe, and then I have an idea for, I want to create a okay, first of all, I need to come back here. Can you please create me a prompt to use with AI image generation that will create a birthday invitation, a 5x7.
That is important.
That is very important. 5x7 birthday invitation that is island princess themed. Think Moana, but using no licensed imagery. I would like to include a pig and a chicken, and a pig, comma, a chicken, and an island, and we need to put island watercolor imagery. I want it to be watercolor.
Yes, that is my favorite ever.
Scenery. We'll do scenery, not imagery. So this one needs to be scenery. No words should be on this image. That is also important with this when you say invitation.
Yes.
Coconuts is another thing. We are going to go to Nano Banana in just a minute. Okay. Island Princess. Another thing is we are always reading over Island Princess theme, no text, no lettering, no typography, full bleed design with safe margins, whimsical tropical watercolor illustration, a young Polynesian inspired island princess. I don't want the princess on there. because I'm afraid that if we do a young Polynesian inspired princess, it's going to give us something that is too close to Moana.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. This is good. This is good. Okay. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to hop over to Nano Banana. This is part of Google Gemini. In case you didn't know, it is gemini.google.com. In case you wanted to know. And then what you will need to do, this is what it's going to look like. You need to come down here to where the little banana is and click that image where it says create image. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it in there. I'm always nice personally. Can you please create? I know I'm crazy. I know I'm silly. A vertical 5x7 birthday invitation design, island princess theme, no text, no lettering. I don't want to do, maybe we'll do it with the island princess, but then I want to see what it creates, and then we may go back and take it out. Actually, let's just go ahead and take it out right here. Then I'm going to put a soft tropical watercolor, turquoise, distant lush green island mountains, palm trees, warm sunset. I want to put, I want to do like a hibiscus flowers throughout. Palm trees gently arching to frame the composition. Include a cute chubby piglet with a flower tucked behind its ear, small expressive eyelid chick. We're going to take out near the princess. We're going to put colorful feathers at, we'll just put in the bottom right. We'll put in the bottom right and feathers with one in the bottom right and one in the bottom left of the invitation. Light, airy, storybook, watercolor style, soft brush text. Let's just take out the brush textures, just the watercolor style, layered depth. I want to take out the subtle splashes of watercolor paint personally. Dreamy tropical atmosphere, warm and inviting color palette. Love that. Balanced composition. This is also important. Balanced composition with open space in the middle. I don't want to put upper and lower. I'm going to put in the middle for future text placement, but absolutely no text in the image. High resolution, print ready, 5x6, vertical orientation. And we're going to change it from fast to pro because we are pro. I'm just, for the sake of this, I'm going to change it to pro. It does take a minute. Tony, we started at 11. Does anybody have any questions so far? So you are using ChatGPT to create a prompt to import into Google Gemini. Why do you use two platforms? That is a great question. Okay.
That's so cute.
I mean, it looks very, very close.
Yeah.
It looks very close to the actual images, but I definitely don't think it looks copywritten, like it's the exact ones. Anyway, I would use this. So from here, what I would do is I would download full size, and then we'll pop it over into Canva. But back to this, why am I using two platforms? In all honesty, you can use the same platform. You can use Google Gemini to do the same thing. I just had it in two separate windows, and I have trained my chat to create, to, I've done these lives quite a few times now. And so my chat is kind of trained for image generation. So that's why I just went to chat. There is really no other reason. By all means, stay in the same platform if you want to just use one platform. 100%. If it were me, I would probably take out maybe a couple of these palm trees, like these three, but we can actually do that in Canva, and I can show you how we can do that. But this is a super, super cute, once again, it's not copywritten, but
Yeah.
you can do an island princess birthday party invitation and still do this. Tara, I will show you the coat in a minute. I'll bring it back out. Now, another idea that I had is what if, once again, this is how you can create things that are party themed or like themed but without using copywritten images. So another one, we'll just go with Nerf, since I was talking about Nerf a while ago. My son is obsessed with Nerf guns and will continually ask for a Nerf birthday party every year.
That's so fun.
But I'll just go ahead and do two, and then we're going to pop them over into Canva, and I'm going to show you how you can adjust it, because we just had somebody say, how do you adjust if you don't like it? I find that usually messes it up. Do you find Gemini better for image generation? Yes, in my opinion so far, Nano Banana has been the best for image generation. I really, really like it. But we will adjust it in Canva, and I will show you how we will adjust it in Canva. So this one, let's say, we're going to do, can you please create a background for a birthday invitation? Now this one, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Invitation. This is what it's going, I want to show you the difference between me just like typing in my own prompt versus crafting one with AI. So let's just keep going. Can you please create a background for a birthday invitation for, we're going to say dart guns, because I don't want to use the term Nerf. I would like for the invitation to be vertical and 5x7. Colors should be, I would like for the background color to be black with accents of neon blue, neon orange, and some neon green. Please include generic images of dart blaster guns, targets, and neon blue and neon orange darts. Keep all illustrations around the edge of the design and leave the middle open so that text can be added later. No text. 300 DPI image. Okay, we're going to go with it. See what it does. See what it does. Is Gemini better than Midjourney or about the same? Midjourney, okay, first of all, it's not a 5x7 orientation, but that is pretty cool.
That is cool.
I really like that design. But I did it in fast. So what if, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it back in here. Change it from fast to pro because it reads everything. And we're going to see what it does. While that does that, Midjourney. Let's talk about Midjourney. Midjourney, the last time I used it forever ago, was a little bit harder for me to understand. You do get like good image generation with Midjourney. I do think for ease, I like Nano Banana personally, but that's just my personal opinion. If you've used Midjourney and you know how to use it, okay. That's pretty cool. Has a few too many darts for my liking, but once again, I'm gonna show you how we can kind of fix it, okay? Or not darts, one too many targets is what I meant to say. So yeah, here is this one. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hop over to Canva. Here you can say I've already popped in that create a design. So once we have our background images that we wanted to create, coming over here, we're gonna click this plus icon. I'm gonna do it in a 5x7 orientation. That is what we brought in. And then I'm going to pop my Finder into view. We're gonna pop that one there. We're gonna add a page, bring it back in, and then here is our Moana one. So here is what we are going to do to fix some things that we don't like. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in that corner and I'm going to make it fit like this, okay? If utilizing for personal creation and not to be sold, you can use a licensed image if you want to. Now, if you're selling it, just know that you have to be easy. You have to be very careful about the images. So let's go to this one. This was our first one. How I'm going to do this so for me personally, I'm not really a fan of this palm tree. I could probably even get rid of this hibiscus and then duplicate this hibiscus if I wanted to. Or I would be okay with getting rid of all of this on the side because I do feel like it gives me more room to kind of play around with things. So I'm going to click this image. You can see it is selected because of the purple bounding box. From there, what I'm going to do is come up here to edit. Now, you do have to have Canva Pro to do this, okay? But before we move on, we did have a question. Where did the design get stored? Where did you pull it from into Canva? So when here at Google Gemini, if you hover in the top right corner, you download your full size. So what I did was I brought my Finder. That's where all of my downloads live. I just brought my Finder back into view, and then over here on the left-hand side, I can click on my downloads, and that is where my recent downloads lived. And all I did was click the one that I wanted, drag it, and let go of it in Canva, and it pops in. Hands down, one of my favorite features on Canva.
It's incredible. It blows my mind.
It's so fast and so
It really
seamless,
is.
and it just helps you stay in the flow of creating and designing, right? So, selecting this, coming over to edit. Once again, this is a Canva Pro feature. I know a lot of people are like, another subscription. If I got rid of every single one of my subscriptions. First of all, I don't have any prescriptions right now. If I got rid of every single one of my subscriptions, I would not get rid of Canva. That is the one I would keep.
Never.
I would honestly probably get rid of like all of my streaming services except for one. I would have to keep one, but I would get rid of all my streaming services before I got rid of my Canva subscription.
Yeah.
Because I use Canva so much.
Yeah. I was going to say, I tell people if I could use one design platform for the rest of my life, it'd be Canva. All the way.
100%.
Yeah.
So the Canva Pro subscription is 100% worth it. 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to this feature, this magic grab feature. So you can either do magic grab or magic eraser. If you know you want to get rid of something, you can do magic eraser or you can do magic grab. Now, if this doesn't work, we may go back to Google Gemini and ask it, or just have like kind of regenerate the image with only 2 palm trees. We did have Karen say, can you specifically say in your prompt how many targets or palm trees you want? Yes, so when your first image generation gave you this, you could maybe say only 2 palm trees in the top 2 corners.
Yeah.
You know? So we're gonna do magic grab first. I always like to start with magic grab. And it's not allowing me, but I can brush over what I want to grab. So the first one that I for sure want to grab is this palm tree right here. So I'm just going to cover up that full palm tree right there. And we're going to see how well it grabs. If it doesn't, I don't have to, if it doesn't grab it the way that I think it should, which y'all, look, hold on. Are y'all watching? Look at that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Do you see that?
The way it doesn't even mess up the background.
It literally doesn't even mess up the background.
Crazy.
Yes, you can design without using AI 100%. Actually, I would suggest starting with designing. If you feel confident enough in your design skills, I would 100% design without AI.
Absolutely.
It is just there as a tool in case you can't design or you can't find the item you want or you have a hard time like drawing. So I'm just going to X that out. We're going to put it down here just in case we need it later. Who knows? We're going to leave that there and we're just going to keep grabbing these. Now I do want to grab, I'm going to come back here. We're going to come back to edit. I want to magic grab these flowers over here for sure. Because the only reason I want to grab them is because I think I want to duplicate them. So now they're grabbed, I can move them around. Once again, I'm going to Command X and then Command V down here. That way it is there for me to grab and add back up here. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these 2 little trees. Magic grab. No. Hold on. I didn't have that image selected. That's why it didn't do it. Okay. Magic grab. And we're going to go to brush. Now, I do have to do these in 2 separate ones because I want these to be separate. I don't want to grab them at the same time. Then we'll exit that. Move that down here. Now, that did take some of that background from it, but it left it. Didn't mess with it there. And then last one, select, edit, magic grab, brush. And we're just going to brush this guy. Now you can get really detailed and you can zoom in and okay, so X and pop this down there like that. And here is our pretty much basic design. And now what I'm going to do is I would then come in here. Let's go to our elements. Let's do a scalloped rectangle. We'll go to see all. I'm just doing this like very quickly, not anything. Here's a good one. And we can actually watch what I can do. Hold on, hear me out. Okay, so we've got this here. Let's say I change it to whatever color you want. That one's really pretty. I like that one. Come in here, probably bump the transparency down just a little bit so you can see the images in the background, like it's not completely taken away from it. We can maybe even do, let's just do white. Okay, I really like the white. But hear me out, I'm not done because I still think these guys should be in front of this. But watch what I'm going to do. So we're going to go to edit again. Also, did you guys know that, I don't know what I was going to say, so it doesn't really matter. I don't remember. So we're going to grab this little guy. It's just going to make him his own layer, he or she, whatever. And then we're going to, once again, last one, I'm going to magic grab. I'm going to grab, I guess this would technically be Hey Hey. Oh no, it doesn't have his tail.
No.
Let me go to brush. And I'm going to zoom in. And we're going to maybe bump this down. Here is how you make it smaller. So like I can zoom in. We can just grab the chicken.
Chicken.
Now it did mess it up just a little bit, but this way I can put these images in front of that scalloped border. I mean, do you all see how good that looks right now?
It's so good.
This looks like, even if I were to bump up, let me bump the opacity, like make it solid. Do you see how that changes it by bringing those two in front?
It is amazing.
It's so much better. Now we can bump that transparency back down so you can see behind it. Then I'm going to bring in our little florals here. Make them bigger, maybe even bring them down here a little bit closer. I mean, you can play around with it. We can also duplicate it, move it over here, flip it horizontally so we have something else over here on this side that fits and matches. Like, so many different routes you can go with this. Actually, now that I have it, I think I like it without it. So I think I'm going to leave these down here. We might try, let's just try this. I'm just curious. Now I could get down with that. That's cute. Layering those palm trees and like letting that one lay over the corner. Super cute. And now all you have to do is add in your text. So you would add in your text here. And this is the one thing that obviously you literally, like AI is not good for. It is not good for text. I would not recommend trying to have AI create any images with text. You're just not going to get the results that you want. But from here, I would go to display and just choose us a cutie little font. This one could be cute. Well, hold on. What is, I'm curious now that Moana birthday invitation, what do these say and what do they look like? Oh, the ocean is calling you. That needs to be on there. Oh, that one is also cute. It says, hey, hey, Olivia is turning 2.
So cute.
Okay, now that's a good, but also not. So let's do. Once again, I would definitely need to play around with this a little bit more. Play around with the font pairings. I can go through all of that. We can do this on here, but I kind of like, that's kind of giving, I don't know. Anyway, you kind of see where we're going with this. I don't like that one. We're going to go back with that one. And maybe even do, let's take this down and we'll duplicate it. The ocean is calling you. You can play around with it. Play around with your spacing. Obviously play around with your color. I really liked this. I want to do all of this. The ocean is calling you. You can even come in here, play around with your effects, curving it, adding a drop shadow. This one is one that I do need to bump up, I think, here. You can also play around with advanced spacing, your line spacing, your letter spacing here in Canva, which this is not a Canva tutorial. This is an AI tutorial, but we have been using lots of AI features inside of Canva and to help us generate our image. So now, can I use AI in Canva to illustrate a book? You absolutely can.
Yeah.
You sure can. Can we do this to sell on Etsy? Yes, as long as one of the things that we teach within our program is we do not want you to use copywritten images. We were showing you how you could get around a copywritten image. We're not using the likeness of, this is the likeness of Pua and Hey Hey. I do understand that. But I don't think they are so close that it's like, oh my God, that's exactly who it is. You don't see Moana, you just see an island. It's not like in your face, this is a Moana birthday party, you know. Couple questions I do want to answer before we go on. So let's go to camera one for just a second. In Etsy, when you looked at the search results ratio, were you on a seller's platform? I don't have a store yet, so I'm not sure where that data lives and how sellers access it. So that is once you create your Etsy shop, it's housed in the back end of your shop, and it is in Marketplace Insights. So when you are in the back end of your shop, you can see here we are in our shop manager. You can go to your dashboard, look at your listings, all of this stuff. But when you scroll down, you can see that in the stats section, you can look at your shop traffic, or you can look at Marketplace Insights. Marketplace Insights, that is where we were looking for the ratio of how many searches per search results you are looking at. And that is a very, very important place, and a place to get to know once you get your shop open. We love using Marketplace Insights, and Everbee is the second resource that we use. You can see here, it is a Chrome extension. This is the Everbee Chrome extension. We use this as well. And you can see, look at the conversion rate, how old a listing is, how many views it has within the last 30 days, and how many sales it has had this month. So those are the two biggest resources we use, is Everbee, and then the back-end Marketplace Insights inside Etsy. Okay, I'm going to answer some more questions. We'll go back to one. Can I take some of my backgrounds I've designed in Procreate and do this in Canva? Yes, as long as it is, if you are an artist, and this is something that I did see a comment earlier. I would like to be a graphic designer. It makes me nervous that I would be cheating or using someone else's designs. Listen, I completely understand that. But if you are an artist, obviously, Pamela has probably created something in Procreate, drawn something in Procreate. You can still use that and put it in Canva and use it. And do the magic grab, all of the stuff that I've done, as long as it is a JPEG image, a PNG, you can still do that. But to address those that may be questioning, hey, like, is it really ethical? There are some ethical boundaries that I think that we as creatives have to have when it comes to using AI and how we can ethically use it without stealing from other people. Because if we have an idea in our head that we can't get to with our own skills, that our skill set that we have right now, not saying that you aren't building on a skill set, I do think it is still okay to position AI to help us create pieces of our designs, but then we ultimately finish the full thing, if that makes any sense at all. I would never suggest, yes, slap this into AI, literally just use what they gave you and put it out there on Etsy. Y'all, people are going to tell it's AI. At this point, people know what to look for and can tell when it is an AI generated image for the most part, okay? So we just have to kind of pick and choose and use it to help us create pieces that we are having issues with so that we still keep our creative process streamlined. Now, the next question is, Natalie asked, for the people who do have Moana on their invites and selling on Etsy, is that technically illegal? Yes, it technically is, and they will eventually get in trouble, and Disney is one. So like, even if you are any little bit leery about even doing something like what we just did, you use your own discretion, and I don't know how to say this, use your discretion. I do not feel like what we created here, I do not feel like that is, I don't feel like Disney could come after me and say, take that down, that's Disney property. I think it is enough of pretty much just a generic island theme. Yes, this does look a lot like Pua and Hey Hey, but I think this is something that they would not necessarily come after you for. Now, when you start using the actual characters, that's when technically, they will come after them at some point for this. Okay? That's just, it's going to happen. They will come after them at some point for this. I would not do this. I don't want to risk my shop. Okay? Now, we'll go back to one for just a minute. Yes, so we did have somebody say you always describe the object instead of the brand name in your text. I do tend to get better results when I describe the object and not use brand names, because when you start using brand names, the way that AI works is it pulls from all of the information on the internet. So when you use those brand names, then it's going to start pulling from those images whether you want it to or not. That's why I like to just describe the object and give it exact details versus trying to use brand names in my prompts. For example, the Nerf prompt. It was a generic dart blaster gun. But what is the main company that we all think of when we think of dart blasters? It's Nerf. But I didn't want to say Nerf in general, like at all. We did have somebody ask, is Everbee specifically for Etsy data? Yes, and let's just go ahead and take a look at Everbee. I don't think I touched on it near enough. I want you all, now I will tell you, once again, we do pay for Everbee as a research platform. It is definitely not something that you can use Everbee as a free version. The reason that we have the paid version is because we are teaching you all what is best and how to use it. We do use it a lot, but once again, that is up to you, your discretion, if you want to pay for it. What Everbee does, it gives you a quick snapshot of each individual listing, and then we will go into those listings here in just a minute. So let's find one. This is a really good generic simple birthday party. You can see here that it has a pretty good conversion rate. That a 4.11 conversion rate is a pretty good conversion rate, especially for only a 9-month. This has only been up for 9 months. And so far, it has had 40 monthly sales. So what we can do is when we click on this, it shows us it shows us the title, obviously. It shows us the monthly revenue, how many total sales this listing has made, how many times it has been favorited. how long it has been up, how many views it has garnished. You can look at the data here, how many sales per day this listing got. So 2 sales, 4. Looks like there were consistently 4 sales from the 19th through the 23rd. Every single day it had 4 sales. That's actually pretty decent for a birthday invitation. You can see it dropped off and there were no sales between the 7th of January and the 16th of January. And then moving on down, you can also look at the tags that they used. So that is why I personally like Everbee, because it gives me a lot of inside data to specific parties. So if we were to go in here and let's say Moana birthday invitation. I don't know why it says 2. We're just going to go with, and then we'll let Everbee populate. It's going to take a minute. So you can see this one right here. It has a good conversion rate. Once again, let's go back to one because I want to bring this in. I want to say it again and again and again. Just because I'm showing you a copywritten or a licensed image, I am not telling you to go out and create that. There are ways that you can use your own creativity to hint at a licensed image. But we can use this as data, Everbee as data, and kind of see what they're doing. So we'll go back over here. Once again, we're not going to use a copywritten image, are we? No. But we can see that this has had, quite a bit of growth, quite a bit of sales, made some money. But we can see, now they have used Moana in their tags. That's a lot of Moana. I think if it were me, I would possibly use Moana. I think I would be okay with using Moana in my tags, but only like once or twice.
Yeah.
I would not use it over and over and over and over. Like I might put Moana invitation, Moana birthday party invitation, or probably just Moana invitation. And that would be about the extent of what I would do for my tags. But anyway, you can kind of see how they do that and what that is. So, does anybody have any questions so far? Another way, once again, after you have created, you've designed, you've done all that, you can then pop your image back into, if you have issues with creating your tags, titles, and things like that. We do have, if you become part of the Passive Earners Society, which, by the way, if you haven't applied already, drop that link for them. Go ahead and apply, because if you thought that this was informative, what we do inside our program is tenfold this. But once you have created your image, you've created your product, you've created whatever it is, you've made your physical product, if that's what you're doing, you can take a picture, download the image, whatever it is. You can then upload it back into our specifically trained AI bot called Sales Booster, where it will spit back out an SEO-rich title, tags you can use, and even a short description is another way we can and teach you all how to utilize AI to streamline the listing process. Now, once again, we are never going to take what AI gives us in full and not edit it. Obviously, AI is not human. We are the human brains behind it, and so we have to use our reasoning, our thought process, and change some things because it's not going to be perfect, but it does help us get to the end result a lot faster. So I do appreciate it for this. Is it illegal to use a licensed term in your tags? It's not illegal. Number one, it's not illegal to use it. And obviously people are doing it, because when we go over to all of these other ones, they're using Moana, Disney. I definitely wouldn't use the term Disney. That is the one that I would for sure stay away from.
Yeah.
Moana once, fine. Disney, not doing it. If there is one thing I have learned, it is that Disney is something you don't touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
If you want to create Disney-themed stuff for yourself, but anyway, so it's not illegal. And if we're being honest, the most that they are going to do, I say the most, from experience, I know someone personally who used a copywritten image or a licensed image of someone, well, of a singer, and had a something you could buy on Etsy that you, like a PNG you could buy on Etsy with this singer's face on it, whatever. What they did to that person is they just took the listing down. They did not close the shop up. So I think using the term Moana once in your tags, it's really not that big of a deal. But once again, use your own discretion. So let's just, that's what I'm saying. I would say use your own discretion. Don't 100%. I'm saying I don't think that it's that big of a deal.
Yeah. Another way you could be super, super subtle about it is, for example, we saw an example of an invite earlier that has a Cinderella looking dress.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not Cinderella's dress, and you could put like a glass slipper. But it's like subtly hinting towards Cinderella, but it's a lot less risky than like showing a princess or something like that.
Yes. So that was another really good one. There was one, it said like, here's another really good one that I don't think is copywriting at all. But do you see how they have used images of dresses that are similar to the princesses? Like, I could tell you which princess wore each one.
Yeah.
But it does not have their face. It does not have their likeness. And that is not their exact dress to a T.
Yeah. That is such a good example.
Yes. So this would be an inspired by. So there are ways to do things that are not using licensed images. How do you get the Chrome extension? I wanted to show you all this before we head out. So Chrome extension, up here on the top of your toolbar, there is a little puzzle piece. That's where your extensions live. So if you click on that puzzle piece, if you are in Chrome, you click on that and you go to Manage Extensions. You can search your extensions. You can see we have Everbee there. You're just going to search Everbee, Everbee. And then from there, you would add it. And it's that simple. And then you can pin it to the top. So you can see we've pinned it here and we can tell when it's on and off. And that's how you add your Everbee extension.
Amazing.
Now, we did have a friend say, I personally wouldn't risk my shop using the term Moana. It's not worth it. And that is the beauty of being a business owner, is you can choose what you want to risk and what you don't want to risk.
Yeah.
I would never take what we say full on. Always use your own brain and your own discernment and your own discretion and make decisions based on what you feel like is best for you and your shop. Yeah. We are going to give you the tools, give you the knowledge, give you the resources that you need, but you are in the driver's seat of your shop. Yeah. That is the beautiful thing, is you can make any changes, adjustments, do whatever you want in your shop. If you feel like you want to risk it for the biscuit and you want to try to get some money and test it out, have at it. That's on you. But we're never going to suggest you obviously use licensed images. So anyway, I hope that you all have enjoyed today. I hope that you all have learned something new. I hope it has opened up your mind to some things like the possibilities for you. once again, thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't already applied to talk to one of our success coordinators, and you are a part of the Etsy Effect, I highly encourage you to click that link and get a time slot. They were getting filled up very fast, so you definitely need to get in there, talk to one of our success coordinators, so that we can help bring you the passive earnings that you are wanting this year. So,
Oh, yeah.
yay! Thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you